Hey, y'all, welcome to the Homestead Centric show. I'm Tracy. This is Richie. Yes, you are. Just want to welcome you today. Let's zoom back to the comments real quick. Oh, nobody's here yet, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start the show with some house cleaning, some stuff that we have to do. I really want to welcome you to the Homestead Centric show tonight. I do not have a guest unless you include Richie, and he's a regular. He's like my Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson. But we are going to be talking tonight about chickens, everything chicken centric. Go ahead and let me know if the music is too loud. I got it playing in the background. Oh, thank you, Lynn, Bucket List Homestead, and Peter from Old Man King Homestead. Welcome. Guys, I just want to let you know, if you look over here, you see Wendy's birthday giveaway, February 8th, 2023 at a 6 p.m. live stream. I am going to be giving away, see if I can get it down without killing everything, this camera setup right here for free. All you have to do, we're going to use the StreamYard giveaway tool, and we are going to draw name. I'm going to have you guys type something in the hashtag something in there. Stop, Richie. And I'm going to have you guys type something in there. And yeah, see, Richie even wants it. And then whoever wins, I'm going to send this right out to you. And that is on Wendy's birthday, February 8th of 2023, coming up fast. Wow. Stop, Richie. He knows he can get my attention that way. Sorry, guys. But you must be present to win. As far as you're going to have to type in the hashtag, whatever I choose there at that time in order to win that. I'm thinking about getting some other stuff, some merch, and giving that away too. But this is the big deal to celebrate Wendy's birthday. And that's it. Also, guys, I just want to, let's see here. I want to let you know our blog is up and monetized. You can get the basic plan for free. Please, the only reason there's a free subscription is because subscribing will help the channel grow. When advertisers and stuff see how many subscribers there are on the website, they like seeing that stuff, and that helps. And then if you did see your way fit to go ahead and actually subscribe and pay the money with the free plan, I should probably let you know, with the free plan, you get at least 2 blog posts a month. Okay. Nothing special there, but with the Handsteader level, the 99-cent level, you get access to special blogs, and special content that I am going to be creating throughout the year. That cat's going to get electrocuted. He keeps chewing on the stuff. But and as well as I do have a Handsteader shirt that I'll show you maybe a little later if I get to it, that will be available only to subscribers. And this is all at the blog at than141homestead.com. All right, man. Oh man, that's getting pretty close to everything. That's good. I'm RG Arizona Homestead. Thank you for being here. Peter, Food and Forest, everybody, thank you for being here. Whether you choose to participate in the chat tonight or whether you're just in the background lurking, that's okay. There's nothing creepy here, man. I did the blog. Okay. We are getting ready to begin talking about chickens. I love chickens. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got one more little piece of content down at the bottom of your screen here. You will see the Eastern Ontario Homesteaders Conference, McDonald's Corners Agricultural Society in Ontario, May 6th. It's at the address is down there. That'll be going through. It is the Eastern Ontario Homesteading Conference. It is going to be awesome. I am going to be giving a off-grid solar system talk. And I'm excited. You can check out their Facebook page, Eastern Ontario Homesteading Conference. Type it into Facebook. You can check out their Facebook page. There's a list of the guest speakers. There are going to be booths. If you want a booth, now is the time to schedule it and all that good stuff. So I'm going to leave that banner up there for just a little bit. Yes, welcome to the crazy Promised Land Homestead. I like that name. Wendy and I call my YouTube channel is T Hand 141 Homestead. T Hand is me, Tracy Hand, and 141 is the 1st and 41st Infantry Regiment of the United States Army. The 1st and 41st, fighting 41st from Desert Storm, yeah. But our name of our homestead that we kind of chose was Beulah Land Homestead. Beulah in the Bible means married, and it also kind of doubles as blessed. Hey, Zombie Prepper, welcome. So is the music too loud? I want to ask that right away. If the music is distracting, I can turn it down or off. You guys just let me know what you want me to do. Yes, Promised Land Ranch, welcome to the crazy. Anybody can be normal. I choose to be crazy. The Bible, I think it's 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, if we are out of our minds, it is for Christ, but if we are sane, it is for you. But anyway, chickens. There has been a lot going on with chickens. Lynn, I hope you don't mind me sharing. Lynn lost her first hen. Okay, good. That's good. Thank you, Peter. Lynn lost her first hen, and anyone who's had chickens for a while knows that sometimes lose hens. Right now, there is a epidemic among chickens going on. The avian flu has spread to chickens and turkey and other poultry. I believe it's tomorrow my video comes out on that. But I wanted to talk about it because it's scary. It really is scary. People don't they don't understand it. I understand it. It's a flu, a type of influenza that affects poultry, and it spreads really quick. From contact to death is under 48 hours, is my understanding. There have been 7 humans that have been diagnosed with the avian flu since 2020. That's 7 in 3 years, and they're not sure how they got it. You cannot get it from eating eggs because it is bloodborne. It is not passed from the chicken to the egg. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Chicken. Genesis chapter 1, chapter 2. Hey, Remy, how's it going? I went to the dark side right away when we found her. LOL. I was scared. It was it is scary because when it gets not routine. Yeah, I reopened it this morning and had to band it. Oh, it's been bleeding again. I reached into the laundry box, my cut. I reached into the Tide Pods thing to get the laundry uh, Tide Pod and peeled it right back. Gave me an opportunity to clean it out really, really good. Um, but yeah. Let's see. We must be talking about the bird flu. Been around for years, spread through wild birds and foul. Yep. We are talking about that ish. You cannot get it from eating properly cooked eggs or properly cooked poultry. And there's been 7 cases in humans since 2020. So in 3 years, 7 cases, and you can't catch it from eating eggs or poultry. Okay, RG Arizona. Let's see here. I have several questions regarding chickens on. Where'd that go? It disappeared. I have several questions regarding chickens on. For a single guy, how many birds should I have? Next, what size coop based on the number do I need? Okay. For sleeping room, chickens need, I'm going to go on the outside, the larger side, and say for roosting, chickens need about 1.5 feet. Okay. They might not use it, but you want to give them about 1.5 feet. In the northern climates where you have snow, a lot of times your chickens will choose not to go out in the snow. And I prefer to give them 3 square feet of space per chicken. And this is for the broiler, the multi-purpose birds, I guess you would call them. Yeah, you'll never have enough, even if it is just you, because like I have gobs of eggs that I couldn't sell because I was getting like 1 egg every other day for a while, and it was real spotty. And so by time I would get a dozen eggs, I did not feel comfortable selling them. I do not refrigerate my eggs. I do not clean my eggs until I get ready to sell them. And I'm going to begin asking my customers if I can just brush them off dry rather than washing them off, because there's a bloom on there that really protects. But honestly, it depends on your needs. In New York State, if you buy chickens, chicks, or poultry, pullets, you have to buy 6 chickens in New York State. They are not pets. I do not, because of the avian flu, salmonella, and we're talking about birds with a brain the size of your pinky nail, and they peck at their own poop. Not the best pets, though I chickens dearly. And so, yeah, right now I have an 8x8 chicken coop. It was a temporary build about 5 years ago. Homestead moving swift. But I have had up to 30 chickens in that 8x8 area because I gave them, they have a chicken ladder. It's like a home built so that when they poop, they're not pooping on each other. And they can get up, and then they have one roost that goes across the back, and then they have 3 roosts that go across the side, and then those are cut in half by my my nesting boxes, which are 5-gallon buckets laid on their side with a couple holes drilled in the bottom to let any water that might get in them out. Okay, we'll see you. We'll see you in a little bit, Lynn. Yeah, that's a really good question. How many eggs do you want to eat in a week? And I'm telling you, with the prices of eggs going up, I would not feel guilty charging. And I'm on the low side. My sister-in-law sells at $4 a dozen. It's been $4 a dozen because you will never taste an egg as good as a fresh farm egg. They're not watered down. They haven't been bleached. The yolk is darker, especially if they're free ranged and they're getting all that protein from bug, grass, and vegetation that they eat. And so my sister-in-law charges $4 a dozen. I charge $2 a dozen, and when I do begin selling them, right now I'm getting 3 eggs a day, and I have 14 hens that I have right now at this time, and I have a guinea fowl and 3 roosters. 3 roosters. So 3, 4, yeah, that sounds about right. And so however many eggs you need, they do come back. There are decisions that you're going to have to make with your chickens. You're going to have to decide, depending on where you're at, am I going to give them artificial light? Now, the artificial light is not for heat. The artificial light is for to help them continue laying through the shorter days in winter. I have, and I will put it in the link. Let me write that down. Put coop lights in description. Right after this, I'll put the coop lights in the description that I have. They are solar. I am 100% off grid. I do get propane delivered. So far, I've had it. They installed the tanks last May and filled them up, and that's all that I have. But I have solar coop lights, and they're on an automatic timer that they come with on a remote. And I set it for 2 hours. I give them 2 hours of extra light a day. Yeah. With being in northern Arizona, you do get snow and it gets over 100 in the summer. You're going to want plenty of shady places for them to get. You're going to want plenty of dusty areas. I use diatomaceous earth or DE that you can pick up at most feed stores and animal supply stores because it will take care of mites. When they do eat it, it takes care of intestinal tract parasites and stuff like that. But they use it to cool off. Chickens use it to cool off. You're going to want to have them where they have plenty of access to water. In the winter, snow can double as water. But I like to make sure mine have fresh water every day, and I put apple cider vinegar, a couple splashes of apple cider vinegar mixed in a 10-quart 10-quart bucket that I use to take the stuff out. And what that does is that helps their digestive tracts. It adds what they need for their digestive tract. So yeah. And you can find, you would probably be good with almost any breeds. If you go on any hatchery website, they can tell you what breeds are best for your specific conditions. Okay, next I have predators like fox, coyote, bobcats, mountain lions, hawks, eagles, and owls, along with rattlesnakes as well. Yes, I have coyotes, foxes, mink, weasels. The I think they're the long tail weasels, black with the ermine. When they're in ermine, they have the black tip on the tail. Fisher, hawks, owls, some eagles around the area, though I haven't run into any of them. When they come in contact with my flock, it's never good. I encourage, okay, how do I say this? I encourage them to leave with both barrels. Does that make sense? You can get a trapping license so that you can trap legally, but you can protect, in my opinion, this is not law, check the laws of your state. You have a right, or should have a right, to protect your livestock. But yeah, I walked in and there was I think it was the mink that had one of my, and what the weasel type critters do, the fishers will carry them off, but the smaller weasels, they will bite into their neck like vampires and literally drain them of blood. You will go in and you will not know normally if that chicken died of natural causes, which is what happened to one of Lynn's hens. She had her first loss, and it always breaks your heart because you love these chickens, but it's a cycle of life. The best way to teach your kids about life is get some chickens. Except let them know there's more romance than what you see in the chicken coop. Okay. Rattlesnakes. Snakes will eat eggs. I have orange-bellied brown snakes. I have garter snakes. We can have northern brush, like timber rattlers and stuff, but I've never seen. I've lived in upstate New York most of my adult life, or all of my adult life, and most of my young adult life, and I've never seen a rattlesnake north of Florida, because I was in Florida and New York and California. I lived in California when I was in the Army. So let's see. Promised Land Homestead. You need to build a solid structure. I have all those same animals here in eastern Colorado, and believe me, coyotes are butt heads. I also have a fenced-in run. Yes. I close my chickens in every night. Right now, I have to be honest, my chickens are not safe. They are not predator proof. My coop, it was a temporary coop I built 5 years ago. It was supposed to last a couple years. This spring, I am building my barn, God willing, and the creek don't rise, and I ain't giving the creek a vote. And but I had a fenced-in run, and they turned it to dirt almost within week. By the end of the first summer that we were up here, we stayed up here for the summer, and they had the run that I built them. I had 100-foot of fence that I made a run with, and they had that turned to dirt. So what I'd like to do is I want to fence them in behind the barn, but I want to give them enough space so that they don't destroy the vegetation. I want to have my compost pile in that area also, so that chickens are awesome at composting. Nothing makes them happier than digging through poop for their bugs and stuff like that. Hey Patrick, how's it going? Good to see you. Okay, let's see here. How far should I put the fence for the run? How far down should I put it? What I would suggest, because I'm frugal, I try to be frugal. I spend way too much money, but I try to be frugal. I would run a good quality fence from the ground up 4 feet at least. 4-foot fence is plenty high enough for them. 2 foot, they'll go right over. But a good quality fence, 4-foot fence that touches the ground. But then I would take, and you can find the cheaper chicken wire, and you can hook that up about, I don't know, a foot maybe from the ground to the good quality fence, and then have maybe a 2-foot apron that runs around the ground. Now you can have the apron inside or outside and covered with logs, and that will that if you put it on the outside, I don't know. There might be pros and cons to inside or outside. I've always put mine on the inside, but if you put it on the outside, it's going to stop like a coyote or a fox or something like that from trying to dig. They're going to dig down the stuff that collects on top of it, and the grass that grows through it, and they're going to hit that wire and give up. Do not do your main fence, in my opinion, in chicken wire. Chicken wire will keep chickens in. It will keep chickens out. I do not know of another animal that chicken wire will stop, especially the predator animals. Let's see here. Mine goes all the way around my coop. If you have a couple chickens, it doesn't need to be that big. But if you have a lot, you need more space. So let them free range. So I let them free range in our big fenced front yard in summer. Absolutely. I do not have my fence or my yard fenced in, but I do let my chickens free range. That causes problems in that I have to have any garden beds fenced. Chickens will destroy a nice flower bed in a heartbeat. Predators can get to my chickens. When we first moved up here, we did have a couple hawks that were really stubborn, and I bought the deer netting from a farm store, and it was like it was $14 for a 7-foot by 100-foot section of the fencing, and I ran that. It's netting, and I ran that over the top, and I literally saw it. The chicken was never the same, but I saw a hawk come down at the chicken, and when it saw that netting, it pulled up, saved the chicken's life. But the chicken was just like standing there watching as it knew it was dead. There was nothing it could do. It was never the same. That chicken was always a little off. Free ranging chickens is the best. But like I said, there are problems with garden beds. My woodshed is open except for tarps. They get in there and they poop on everything. Okay, chickens don't care where they poop. Do not let them in your house. They will poop on everything. If there is a place that is up off the ground a little ways, like say a stack of wood, they will get on it and they will poop on it. Chicken poop doesn't burn that well unless you age it really well, I would imagine. But yeah, I love my chickens. They are an awesome animal. They are at times smart. I have one chicken that will come up and she'll it's a hen, and she'll hit my leg until I pick her up and hold her, and then I can't put her down for like an hour after. Wendy used to get a pick out of that. Uh, let's see. Yeah, that netting is awesome. I have it over the coop and run, and it keeps out all kinds of birds. Um, and I actually use it. I have my square garden out here, and then on the outside of the garden fence, I have two apple trees. Sorry, Trevor. He's gonna hate me for that. Um, I have two apple trees, and then I have rhubarb and horseradish planted in there. I have a couple blueberry bushes planted in there. And instead of buying good fence to put around it, I just got the fiberglass electric fence posts that you just stick in the ground. And I ran that netting around that. I was able to cut it off at the 3 feet, whatever it was. And I left a decent apron, and it keeps the chickens out fairly decent. Every once in a while, they'll find or make a hole in it, or the wind will blow a section open. But it's really awesome stuff. You can't see it very well. We have it around what was going to be Wendy's herb garden out front at the bottom of the yard, and you could see the posts, but you couldn't see the netting, which made it really nice because you could see her flowers really, really well. Now, if anybody has any other questions, feel free to ask. Feel free to I'll keep an eye in the comments. Keep me on topic tonight. This is your show, the People's Show, the Homestead Centric Show. I don't know why, but giving it the name, the Homestead Centric Show, I don't know, makes it feel official and makes it feel like I should do more than just sit here and ramble for you. But with the chickens, the FDA came out last year and they said salmonella is on the rise. Please, if you own chickens, don't hug them, cuddle them, kiss them, whatever. They aren't pets. Okay, guys, I've had chickens for a long time. I usually only handle my chickens when I need to help them for their health and or safety. That being said, I don't kiss my chickens. The only time my chickens get near my mouth is when they're fried or in a stew. And to be perfectly honest, I have always, at about the time I start thinking about culling some of my chickens, I've always found a way that someone has always come up and said, hey, you got any old chickens you want to get rid of? There used to be a guy that lived in Lionsdale, I believe is where he lived. But when we lived in Port Leyden, and he would call and say, hey, it's about that time of year. You got any chickens, older chickens, you ready to get rid of them? What he'd do is he'd raise them. And then he was old school. He would go out in the afternoon and cull a chicken and cook it up for dinner. And he had no sentimental attachment to it. And so we had on meat birds. Meat chickens are a breed in themselves. Number one, there is a booster that you can get for your chickens. Basically what it is vitamin K and stuff that they need for their legs, because I got the X-Rocks. What they are is they are they're a large breed chicken. They can barely carry themselves. You end up with 8 to 10 pound uh, chickens when you butcher in 8 weeks. I've seen folks for chicken with blankets on their back. Okay, those are called saddles, and they are for the hens. Do you need them? I have never used them. What they're for is if you have roosters, especially the roosters will have favorite hens. You will get, like, I have 3 roosters, and each rooster has a separate group of hens that hangs around with them. And when one rooster gets after another rooster's hen, it causes a fight. But the roosters get favorite hens. Roosters are very, how do I say this? Roosters are very, they have a large libido. They like sex. And chicken sex is violent. Okay. He will chase her down. He will grab her by the back of the neck with his beak. He will climb on her. 30 seconds, it looks like he's beating her into the ground. Then he will hop off, and she'll wait for a second to see if anybody else is going to attack her. Then she'll get up, dust off, and walk away. The chicken saddles are because during that, he has spurs, and his claws, he's literally climbed on her back, and it rubs her feathers off. And the chicken saddles, they have little elastic straps that go around the wings on either side. It's to keep him from hurting her back so that she can regrow her feathers. Hey, Mahilin. Learning Curve Acres. This is Marcy. I had one hen that had to have a hen saddle. Her back was bleeding from the rooster. Yeah. And you can't really stop it. Roosters, my experience with roosters is I try to leave them alone as much as possible. I've had some mean roosters. I've had some loving roosters. The mean ones don't live long on the homestead. Deep up their wings. I would not say you have to. I do not. I don't know of anybody who does. If you have short fencing, and you're trying to contain them in an area, and you have the 2-foot fencing, which they can jump 2 feet. But no, I wouldn't necessarily worry about clipping their wings. They use their wings to get up on the perch at night, to get up on the roost. So yeah, I don't worry about clipping mine's wings. Not to mention, I have literally seen, they say chickens don't fly. Chickens don't like to fly. They will fly. I've seen them. I have 3 acres cleared here, and I've seen them fly from one end to the other, about 1.5 acres. There was a coyote pouncing on it, but it managed to get away. But yes, there are too many nice roosters to put up with the bad ones. And there are ways. This is going to sound cruel, but it's not. There are ways to cure a mean rooster. If you got little kids and a rooster comes at you, get rid of it. For the simple reason, if it'll come at you, it'll come at your kids. But now one of the roosters I have now, he has spurs like that long. I mean, he has to walk special because he's got the spurs. The spurs are going like this as he's walking. But he came at me for about 2 weeks, and when he would come at me, I would turn to him, and he would bend his head down and flare out his neck feathers, and I would kick him in the chin, if they have chins. I would kick him in the head. One time I made a very good contact. He did a backflip or two, landed, and I thought I'd killed him. He just laid there, and I had seen his head lay right back. I felt so horrible, but I went over to pick up what I thought was his body, and he hopped up. That chicken, he walks away from me now. He won't come that close to me. That rooster won't. All my questions are based on that this spring I'm going to make a coop and get chickens, as I have never had any chickens before. The learning curve is fairly easy. You can spoil chickens. You really can. In the winter, I like when I can find them. I looked a couple weeks ago and could not find flock blocks because it gives them the nutrients and something to do other than peck at each other in the winter. But I couldn't find the flock blocks. I give them sunflower seeds in the winter, supplemental. And it's really easy to spoil them. I've seen websites that say, okay, you take and you make you take a bag of bird seed and you put it in a wash basin and fill it with water. And when it starts getting slushy, you put bird seed in it so that it gets suspended all throughout it, and you freeze it solid and give it to the chickens so that they'll stay cool. I'm in upstate New York. I've never needed to keep my chickens cool. As long as they have shade, I think they're pretty good. I've only had one rooster turn on me, and that was the last thing he did. He was delicious. Yeah. Chicken is too good of a meat to let them run around on the hoof. I had one of my grandkids. My grandkids were here on the homestead, and I had one of them chase my granddaughter around the house, and that was the last few moments of his life. And he did taste really good. I had one do that to me when I was 8 years old, and then I did the same, and it left this world. Yeah. It's just not worth, I mean, they've got a brain the size of your pinky nail, and they peck at their own poop. They don't make good pets because I'm not going to say you can't potty train them. I've never heard of anyone potty training them. All right, Remy, I share, exclamation point share. If you type exclamation point share with no spaces in the chat, Nightbot will post your channel link so that people can, I highly encourage. 99% of the people in my chat are homesteaders and YouTubers, and I learn so much from them. In ministry, when I went to college, the Bible Institute, they said originality is the ability to forget where you heard it. And these are top-notch people. Remy is one of the best. So check out their channels. Are all bags of chicken feed can be germinated, or would I have to buy something special? Okay. I've never tried to plant most chicken feed. I get lay mash. There are two main types of chicken feed. There is mash and pellets. I prefer the mash because all it is it. Holy cow, cat! Sorry. What mash is it's corn. Unfortunately, I don't like feeding animals corn, but corn, different grains, variety of grains, some other nutrients and powders in there that they need. I prefer to buy from a feed store rather than a box store because it's cheaper and it helps the local feed store, feed mill, whatever. I buy from Bailey's Feed Mill. The pellets, you can't really tell what you're giving your chickens. I mean, they can say anything's in there. They can do that at the feed mill too, but I have a really good feed mill. But I don't know oats, wheat, barley, any kind of grains you can grind up. In nature, chickens, which were wild, they are not indigenous to the United States, but they were wild. Hi, Richie. And they were brought to the United States. But in the wild, the only time they get grains is when the grass comes to a head. They do eat grass. They eat bugs. They are omnivores. They eat both meat and vegetables. They are it's one of those things where in the winter here in New York, I have to feed my chickens a lot of the lay mash. In the summer, I cut back on lay mash. Like right now, I'm giving 2 standard scoops, the plastic red scoops of feed to my 17 birds. And they're doing fine with it. In the summer, I cut back depending on how the grass is and the forage. I am surrounded by woods. They can get leaf litter. They can get all that kind of stuff that that they just love. And man, oh man, it makes the eggs so the yolks are hard, not hard, they're firm and they are thick and they are orange and oh, it's you'll never want, after you eat one of your own chicken's eggs, you will never want to buy eggs again. My plan is a 4x4 coop with 2 nesting boxes attached with an 8-foot run, at least standing height, so I can lean up in the run, and 4 chickens. Yeah, that sounds like plenty. In the coop, you can buy the small coops stores. I was watching on in the chat of someone else's live. They had a windstorm and it literally, their chickens and all got blown with one of the prefab little chicken coops that you can buy. But I would buy a chicken. Take my advice. If you build a chicken coop, build the door where you don't have to duck to walk in. Stepping up to walk in is no major deal, but you don't want to. I have to bend down all the time in this temporary coop just to go in. It's not that bending over hurts, but bending over with a 100-pound bag of lay mash in my hands, that tends to be pretty intense. But yeah, that sounds like a good plan. 4x4 coop, 2 nesting boxes, and an 8-foot run at least standing height, so I can clean up in the run. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Now I will warn you ahead of time. Um, chicken math is exponential. You don't go from 4 to 5 chickens. You go from 4 to 8, and from 8 to 16, and from 16 to 32. Chicken math is, you'll never figure it out. But once you have some chickens, how many chickens do you want? More. That's the answer. I'm bringing words into math and letters into math. More. That's how many chickens I want. Your solar system, I am going to guess, is separate from the main system. If so, what is your system running? Okay. Yes. Let me try to present a screen here. Please bear with me for this. Come on, share it. Okay, hold on. I gotta shut down so much, and I can see I'm freezing. I'm still here though, guys. Come on. Here, okay. Oh. Ooh, I just did a hard reboot. Wow. I'm back though. Praise God. I'm back. Let's see here. Okay. Woo, am I back? My whole browser shut right down on me. I'm hoping I am back. Good night, JMB. Okay, I am back. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. My computer's been acting up lately. Let's see. I want to present share screen. We'll try this again. Hey, Caitlin. Okay, stop sharing. Okay, this is. Oh, okay. Let's see, because I just purchased a set the other day. This. Okay. Yes, this is the set. This is a set of 2 that I use. They're really easy to run, and you can see you have the timer here, on off mode, on the remote. It's just really nice to have. And while I am here, I will take Control C. And so you at home, let's bring that back up. It's in your car already. All right. Nice. Nice. I call them coop lights. Yeah, I just bought those because my other one, you know, I've had it for 4 years. Because I got it, I think the second year we had the coop here, and I'm like, man, I want to keep going with this, and I figure I'll put two in there this time, and it'll give a little more light because it's getting dim as it gets old. They get dim, the batteries get wore out and stuff. But it's totally sets on its own. It's hey CNC, welcome. Finally made it to the live. Well, welcome. And those lights, they really do good. In the darkest part of winter, between, I'm going to say, December and January are the dark, mid-December to mid-January is the darkest part of winter. I think I could get away with running those lights 3 or 4 hours a night, if the sun gives them enough power to run. Now you can also bring those in and use a what is it, a Nokia style charger to charge them up. I've done that with mine also. And the lights, you don't have to have them. It's good to have them because of if I go in there, I want to be able to reach up and pop on a light. We'll see you later, Marcy. Good seeing you. Another thing is heating chickens. There is really, at least I live in upstate New York. We get down to negative 25, 24 below Fahrenheit. And you do not need to heat your chicken coop. Heat lamps are dangerous. Electricity and chickens do not mix. They will peck at anything. Oh, cool. That's awesome, James. Yeah, you can use them for anything. I have one. They don't have the timer. They were a cheaper one that don't have the timer. Hey, Jared and Jeet. But I have one in the bedroom that I use sometimes when I don't want to turn on the big light. That heat lamps would be a different item. You do not need to heat your chicken coop. Chickens need to be protected from the wind, protected from moisture. They need good ventilation. Ventilation is more important for chickens than insulation. If you insulate or seal up your coop too tightly and the humidity from their breathing cannot get out, what you'll have happen is that moisture will settle on their combs and their wattles, and they'll end up with frostbite. It's really worse for them to have humidity in the winter but each chicken puts out the same heat as a 10-watt bulb. They can fluff their feathers. And if you think about it, Remy lives in New Brunswick. We have a bunch of Northern Canadians here also that can testify that here I have partridges. They're not quail. Oh, anyway, I have partridges here and quail, the various birds, and they don't have heat. They find protection from the wind and the wet, and they can fluff their feathers out and retain a crazy amount of heat. I have some of my hens have thinner feathers now because of the roosters riding them, but they still have enough feathers that they can fluff out and keep the heat in. So heating is not necessary. And like I said, heat lamps are different. But what we're talking about, those are not for heat. Those are for just light, because it's not temperature that changes the chicken's metabolism or their laying pattern. It is daylight. Now, some people, Appalachia Homestead with Patera, for instance, she does not put artificial light in her coop for the chickens. I believe she's got a light so when she goes in and it's dark, but she does not put artificial light in for her chickens, because chickens only have so many eggs in them. Um, and, you know, to artificially keep them going, that's, it's debatable whether it's good. I do give them extra light. Number one, I think it's healthier for them. That gives me an idea. I use a solar fan to vent my solar box, and it's waterproof. I could put one on the roof. Yeah. Yeah. In the summer, just to keep air current flowing. And like I said, they will dust. They will lay in dust, sand, whatever, and they can literally, they chickens have amazing control over the feathers on their body. They can spread them apart and they can bring them back down as they need. It is amazing. It's not for me. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah. And my chickens are a gateway animal. When you get chickens, you're going to find out, wow, that's not so hard. Uh, I I I spend, let's see, I pump the water. If you watch one of my last videos where it talks about I do my morning chores, I pump my water with a hand pump because it just a lot quicker than my faucet. From my 55-gallon barrels, I put a little apple cider vinegar in it. Getting dressed to go out in the winter takes a few seconds, but then I go out, I open up the chicken coop, give them 2 scoops of feed, clean their water dish out, put water in it, collect the eggs. Sometimes I put down some additional bedding, and that's it. The chickens are good to go. Yeah, it is awesome. Um, and then if you go the route and have roosters, it is really amazing. One of the best feelings I've ever had was watching. I had a chicken come out from under the tool shed, and it had 5 little chicks behind it. Apparently, she had been missing for a while, and I hadn't counted the chickens. Back then, I wasn't in that habit. I do count my chickens at night, um, not before they're hatched, but I do count them, just to find out if I need to be watching for a predator. Um, but that was just the most amazing feeling. Um, 2 of my roosters that I have, no, yes, 2 of my roosters that I have were born here on the homestead. Um, and I've only had 2 hen chicks make it, um, on the homestead. Uh, as far from that were hatched on the homestead by the mother. Um, First year with chickens here, bringing back the rabbits to the spring. Yeah, rabbits are awesome. Marilyn does a lot with rabbits on little homestead by the beach. Um, Ooh, a pallet coop. That's nice. That's not. Yeah, that's the wonderful thing is they need shelter from the wind and rain and some cold, but they really don't need a whole lot. They don't need an insulated barn. they're really self-sufficient in a lot of ways. You give them food, make sure they have clean food or good food, clean water, and shelter. Boing, boing, boing. Only one so far. Yeah, Marilyn, little homestead by the beach. She's got a lot. She's got a beautiful rabbit hutch. I think they call yeah, it's not a coop, it's a hutch. Um, that's got it's all separated so they because with rabbits, my understanding is you want to keep the boys separated from the girls once they get to a certain age. Otherwise, you end up with more boys and girls than you want. Oh, excuse me, I gotta wet my whistle. Hutch and pen, yeah. And Marilyn is on the north shore of the St. Lawrence River. Rabbits are fun, Remy says. Yeah, I can't wait. Once I get my barn built, it's just going to be a little 30, let's see what I say, 24 by 32 barn. It's not going to be very big, but it's going to allow me to do so much more than I can do right now. Fox gets frustrated about it. He can't enter there. Yeah, I can imagine. Keep an eye on him though. Foxes can be crafty, and if they get in, I know if they get in with chickens, they'll kill every single one of them, even though they're only going to eat one. Darren from Thorhaven Farms says, "I love having rabbits. Easy to keep and lots of meat." Yeah, yeah. And that's what Marilyn had for dinner. Pesto and rabbit pasta. Ooh, that sounds good. Uh, and I tell you, the other day I took and I have not been filming my meals like I should. But I fried up some bacon and then I took and made me a cheese omelet. And the only thing that wasn't grown on this homestead was the Fiesta style shredded cheese that I bought at Walmart for the omelet. Everything else was right from here on the homestead. Now, okay, the salt and pepper that was bought too, but chickens are a gateway to turkeys, guineas, and bees so far. Yes, guineas. I love guineas. I had 3 guineas. They were all bucks, I think they call them. They were all males. I got them from my daughter, and they protected my flock. They chased off coyotes that I saw with my own eyes. They chased deer out of the yard. They chased turkeys out of the yard. I'm gonna say one fought with a hawk or an owl because Wendy and I got home after being away overnight. We did leave the coop door open. At that time, we had a smaller door that we could open, and so the chickens could get in and out. And there was a almost perfect circle of guinea feathers around. None of my guineas seemed like they were hurt in the least. Chickens last, okay, they don't start laying eggs until they're about 5, somewhere in the late 4, 5 months is common. To 6 months is when they start laying. They can last up to 5 to 7 years, but 2 to 4 years is a good life for a chicken. they especially they're eating good all the day. And I have gone out and found them dead of natural causes. I could not find anything on the body to suggest that they were drained of blood or anything like that. I don't want guineas or ducks. We have enough noise here with the sled dogs all around. Yeah, guineas, my guineas. Trevor, my brother, comes up to do firewood and all sorts of other stuff. And the guineas they go crazy over him because he's not normally here. Anything out of the ordinary, and they go crazy. They'll get right under the window in the most important part of whatever TV show you're watching. Speaking of rabbits, have to shovel my way to the hutch and give them water. See you in a few if you're still there. Okay, Mary, then be careful. Don't get lost in that Canadian blizzard. Yeah. It's amazing to me how durable chickens can be. Like I said, I had the one that I watched the hawk come at it, and the chicken just sat there looking at the hawk, and that hawk was coming down. I mean, it had its wings back and its talons forward, and it was going to get that chicken. There was no doubt in that chicken's mind. There's no doubt in the hawk's mind. There was no doubt in my mind. That was the chicken that hawk was going for, and the chicken couldn't do a thing about it. It saw the netting between it and the chicken, and it flew off. That chicken was never right afterwards. It was like, I have seen death. And it was just never the same afterwards. Oh my. So did anybody have any other let's see. Well, guys, I have to go. It's dinner time for me. And to all, please have a great life. See you guys next time. Absolutely. We're here every Thursday, God willing, the creek don't rise and we don't give the creek a vote. And every Monday and Friday at 3:15, I have a video coming out. And don't be afraid to check out the guys, the channels in the chat. They're all a bunch of people, like-minded people that they're a really great community. I do think I'm gonna out a little early today. Well, it's not early. It's been an hour and 12 minutes. But I want to get rested up. Darren, are you going live tonight? I don't know if I don't remember seeing that. Let's see if Darren, Thorhaven Farm. Well, now YouTube is acting up. I'm going to end up restarting my computer. Yes. Solar power. Notify me. Ooh, Patrick. Yes, Thorhaven Farm. It's solar for dummies. Absolutely. That's my level of show. That will be at 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe. Chatting with Patrick, Thorhaven Farm. I'll be schooled on. I tell you, it's stare at the sun. Yeah. Mama always told me not to look in the face of the sun, but Mama, that's where the fun is. Speaking of which, today I was on a live this morning. Annie did a pop-up live, and I went on live with her, and my generator stopped. I was doing laundry, and I don't know why my big generator quit. And so I went out and I couldn't get it started again. And so I said, well, I'll just start my my small generator, the 2,000 watt generator. So I pulled on it once and the recoil came off in my hand. And so I get to fix that tomorrow morning. They say one is none, two is one. Yeah, sometimes two is none too. So because we weren't getting much sun today, it's been snowing all day long. But so there will be a video on that coming out. My last video did really, really good, and I just did it. Yeah. The recoil on this one, I've done it before. I did a video on it before on changing the recoil, but it was more of a watch me type thing. I was new to just getting into YouTube. So this one will be a lot better. I'll actually tell you what tools I'm using, but it's real tight. You have the control panel on the front of the generator, and then right behind it, you have the recoil, and you have to get in there and pull it out. And you have to be careful because the way it's a Predator generator, and the way they set it up, it is so close. And if you hit one of those wires that are on the back of the control panel, it can really. I took it to. I worked on it for quite a while trying to get it to run after I changed the recoil. I took it down the hill to a small engine repair place. He charged me $50. He said, yeah, he says, it took me 15 minutes. He says, but all I really did was mess with the wires on the back of the control panel. I'm thinking, well, if that's all you did, then $50, but a workman is worthy of his wages. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Are there any other questions on chickens? My favorite breed is Buff Orpingtons. Here, white chickens do not seem to last very long. Black chickens last a little longer than the white ones, but not as long. The Buff Orpingtons just seem to last a lot longer. The Predators, I can't say for sure that the Predators don't see them as well as the black and the white ones. But I definitely know that the white chickens get eaten quick. But so yeah, Buff Orpingtons, they lay a good amount of eggs. They are dual purpose birds, which means that there's enough meat on them that makes it worth cooking them up and eating them. They do go broody when they get older. If you have a chicken that is like 2 years old and cuts back on laying eggs, you can cull it, you can get rid of it, or you can keep it and it will keep producing you manure, and you will find that the older Buff Orpingtons go broody. Yes, they are very good-natured birds. They really are. And they go broody. For the most part, they're good mothers. I watched one hen square off with about 6 hens, keeping them away from her babies. So yeah, that's why I like the Buff Orpingtons. I want more heritage type breeds like that, that will a self-propagating flock, a flock that will, if I leave it alone, they have a good chance of coming up with more chickens, more chicks. When I see one start sitting and it goes dazed and I can put my hand in front of it like this and they just keep looking straight forward, then I pull out, I have a pet carrier and I get it set up with food and water, and I put all the eggs that are under her in there, and I put her in with it, and it encourages her to go full on broody. It doesn't always work. If she doesn't start sitting on them within the first few days, I let her out. But All right, guys, I am going to go. See you later, CNC Farm. Thank you for being here. As always, check out than141homestead.com. We have the blog, we have merch, we have all sorts of stuff. We have books and stuff to make your homesteading adventure more manageable on there. So yeah, and there will be a video coming out tomorrow. I think it's the video on the avian flu. I'm not sure. I'd have to check that out. But every Monday and Friday at 3:15 p.m. And then every Thursday we have the Homestead Centric show. All right. Y'all have a great day and God bless.